here. Seth, you got any thoughts?
As we're getting to this game here, we are on Clarion Test Chamber, and we see on the side of Runic Dreamers, we have Estelle, Rasmus, and Atlas. That Rasmus Estelle combo, which is pretty well known as a good offensive duo. On the other side of Chikara Eclipse, we have an Asher, and a Kai, which I think will have some. Assuming that is a Asher brawler, which I hope it is, that is a pretty good offense with the Asher now, having some good creation, some good stuffing power as well. What are your thoughts on these two teams' offenses?
Yeah, I agree. I think if that Asher isn't in the gold box, something insane is isn't in the brawler position, something insane is happening. It's going to be all about whether or not this now goalie can provide enough offensive pressure to overcome the defensive prowess of this Atlas in the goal box. We saw that last game with Merchant, a lot of offensive prowess to overcome the Atlas. We're gonna have to see what happens this time. Although I'm a big fan of this Runic Dreamers comp, you have so much consistency from the Estelle, from the Rasmus, from the Atlas, offensively and defensively. It's a comp that will eventually wear you down. Whereas this Kai, I think, is a little bit more inconsistent, but if they play like they're playing right now, they can really pop off and get an offense going.
Right, and something I wanted to point out here on the start with Twin Drive versus Prize Fighter, everyone is taking Twin Drive except for Zonseki on that Asher taking the Prize Fighter. I'm gonna be interested to see if they can get the value out of that against this Atlas. Specifically, an Atlas also should be having a lot of defensive prowess here with that Twin Drive, making it pretty hard for Asher to do what she wants to do. So I'm interested to see if they are able to get it done.
Yeah, I mean, good passing by the side of Runic Dreamers so far, but not able to find the second barrier, even with Scandals walking up a bit too far earlier. Oh, stuffed out on the goal line with no now ult to eject back. Things look a little scary for them there, but Cragley with the flip, not quite able to find Zonseki in the open net. This orb getting a little low. That's going to be the next point of contention for both these teams. Zonseki eyeing it. If they have the primary, they're going to be able to get it. Not quite able to, barely off, I think 24 HP. Rooney rewarded with it. Yin Kirby with the flip. Flip doesn't catch the ball in the open net. Zonseki makes a good save on the goal line. Giga almost catches it. We're going to be looking at this Rooney flip to put it in next if they can find a spot for him in the open net.
Yeah, now they're in this open net here. Oh! I was going to say, I think that now is the advantage, but a great shot from Rooney off of that flip. Able to confuse the now a little bit and able to get that first point of this first set. Looking at the energy advantage here as well, we see that Zonseki is very close to flip here, maybe able to get this offense going against the side of Runic Dreamers.
Yeah, and Max Casual able to hold it down. You know, their last game on stream, I believe they had taken Among Titans and had a few missteps, but fully sized right now and things looking good for them as both their barriers go down. Zonseki with the flip in the open net. It's all about can they get the ball to Zonseki, as Rooney and Yin Kirby each covering their own half of the map. Scary back pass from Rooney, but able to get things through, and Yin Kirby running for that second barrier, not quite able to find it. Zonseki really scary with the open net. Nope, Max Casual, great expanse to stuff it out. Now we see how Runic Dreamers can come back at this point.
Yeah, no, it seems a lot harder for Runic Dreamers to lose this point now, but Yin Kirby does get that second barrier as I'm talking about that, and now it's an even state on the side of the barriers, but they had two flips on the side of Chikara Eclipse, but they both are wasted on the side of defense, able to get that out, and now on the offense here, but it's still looking pretty hard for them to win this point now that they have no flips.
Oh.
And now looking down, they're passing down to Zonseki, but Yin Kirby, amazing hook to get it away from Scandals on the now, and place it into the top side of the net, getting that second point for them.
Yeah, I mean, Cragley was playing great there, winning kind of every strike war along that wall, and I guess when you can't beat someone in the strike wars, you might as well just take him off the map. So Cragley goes down, the ball goes in the net shortly after. You know, really impressive stuff from them in this game. Like I said, this Kai is a little bit more inconsistent than this Estelle in the scoring presence, and, you know, their midfielding is going to be strong, but against the Estelle and the Rasmus, it might be difficult. And so yeah, I've been really, really impressed with how they've been playing so far, and once again, pushing the tempo, trying to make these aggressive plays in the corner, get the expanse out, and if they can keep this pressure up like they are now, they're going to take both barriers almost completely on their own. Great plays from Cragley as they find it through to Zonseki, and Chikara something.
Eclipse.
Chikara Eclipse gets a point on the board. My bad.
Kragley really did it all at that point, getting like almost, I think, both the barriers by himself actually, with the help of scans in the back line. Zonseki was put really low, and he had to fall back to heal himself, especially because he doesn't want to lose that prize fighter stack, which he currently still has. And it's a great play from Kragley to get them that first point of the set. But now, looking at this point here, they are taking quite a bit of damage on the side of the Runic Dreamers, which is making it, but also Zonseki as well, which is, and especially on this variant of Clarion Core, it is very easy to be taken off the map and just be killed out of nowhere, which is going to make it pretty hard for these offenses to get going. But as I say that, great stuff with Barrage and the Asher Primary able to get through that flip from X Casual, and now they're on the open barrier here, but they still are not being able to be scored on just yet.
Oh, the ball sneaks through off the expanse, and they get the KO on the Kai on the backside. Mexican Casual punished for their aggressive play last game, rewarded for it so far this point. Things looking good. They want to end the set. Yin Kirby now unstaggered with the hook, and a great play from Pyruni and Yin Kirby. Nice team synergy out of this upstart team, and they take the first set.
Yeah, the side of Runic Dreamers is doing a great job of capitalizing off their offense when they get that ball up. The Stell and the Rastus just put so much pressure on this now. Not really, like, super easy for her to play this defense, which is definitely which we're seeing from the first set. Now that 3-1. And looking at the awakenings here, I'm noticing the perfect form and also the glass cannon could be some notable pickups here. And we see the glass cannon go to the Atlas and the perfect form go to the Kai, which will help him a lot in the midfield with keeping up those abilities that he needs to keep that pressure up.
Yeah, interesting split on the size at the bottom. Rasmus opts into the build different, wants the 5% extra impact damage over the free life every set. We'll see if they're punished for that. I think it's interesting because I think the Rasmus Estelle Atlas is a little more likely to find staggered KOs on Zonseki than the Kai now Asher is on the Rasmus. So, giving over that revive may end up biting them in the butt, but we'll see. I think draft overall went well for both teams. Pretty happy with how things went. And X Casual, great hold on this top barrier here, keeping up the defensive presence in this point. Finally, they find it out to Pyruni.
And now we got that offense going for the side of Runic Dreamers, but it just gets back over to another on the defense. But they get that kill onto Scandals, which is the goalie. But Zonseki returns the favor into getting that power play, getting that kill onto Yin Kirby. Nice. And also getting a prize fighter stack, which is a potential win con for them in this matchup.
Yeah, really important KO. And, that's kind of what I was talking about with that size trade. They decided to give over that revive in exchange for the 5% impact damage, but that 5% impact damage might be the reason they got the KO on Scandals. So that entire sequence might have just been, a consequence of that draft immediately. Super interesting kind of thing to notice there. And great play by Pyruni to bait out the flip from Zonseki. And with that prize fighter stack, Zonseki looking scary. Red coring off their secondary now. Kragley winning every strike war the entire game, it feels like. Just playing so well. Giga almost finds the barrier. If Zonseki was just barely able to make it there, they would have been able to. And Mexican Casual holding it down right through Zonseki on this barrier. And Kirby set up in the corner, trying to make a play. Not quite able to find a Pyruni. Great strike into secondary to take that barrier. Consistent offense out of the cell is the name of the game. And Yin Kirby, wonderful strike war into the bottom corner. That's a point for the side of Runic Dreamers.
Yeah, and Scandals had that flip there at the end, but they didn't use it. Maybe they just didn't think they needed it, could reach the core. But the core is going very fast in these points. We're seeing so many red core happening with the Atlas, with the Asher, with the prize fighter stacks, even on the Kai Gigas as well. Like, there's so much. The core speed is extremely fast, so it's a little bit hard to keep track of, even with the mom boots on these two goalies.
Yeah, interesting enough. Mom boots on both sides. With Strike Shot has been the name of the game for a couple months now. Great flip out of Scandals, but I actually talked with Mexican Casual after their loss earlier, and they said they would have rather had the Mom Boots, so I think that's where the adjustment is coming from for them. And I think the now Mom Boots is like not exactly the most controversial gear pickup. I think that's pretty standard, maybe an even split, between the Strike Shot and the Mom Boots for that character. But things slowing down this point. Kragley's flip, kind of the name of the game. Can they get it through? Mexican Casual as Zonseki stuffs out the flip, and now Kragley's flip in the open net, trying to make the play. Can't find the pass to Zonseki. Pyruni gets gotten through by Zonseki. Max Casual, stalwart on the defense in the back, able to hold things down. Still not quite able to get through, and this recovery drone is just such a nuisance. I think they aren't super incentivized to look for this KO because they know if they find it, he'll just come right back. And there he is hanging out on the orb, gets the flip. All that energy would have been gone if the recovery drone had been taken earlier and rewarded. The preservation of that flip finds them a goal in the open net. That's a point for Chikara Eclipse.
Yeah, what a great shot off of that flip by Zonseki. I was going to say that they were actually struggling a lot. They were on the back foot of that on that variant specifically because they are taking a lot of this chip damage and getting put down a lot more than they're able to do the other team, which is how they were able to get that kill onto Zonseki and remove his recovery drone. But they were able to get that amazing shot with the flip. And now that we're into this point, we see that they're an instant double barrier down for the side of Runic Dreamers. However, they do get that kill onto Zonseki, removing a prize fighter stack, which is very big here, but also allowing them to set up their offense and get the double barriers in return. Now, great pass plays between Pyrene and Kirby trying to get up there, but Zonseki is now back in there, not able to score just yet.
Yeah, I mean, great passing. I completely agree between the two of them for that second barrier. And in the open net, Kirby almost able to get there, not quite able to. Just Mexicasual playing so aggressive with these momentum boots. It's kind of a stark contrast to how things were going for them in the last game. I think that was a good adjustment for them. And Cragley now in the open net, trying pressure, almost KO'd by Pyrene. As Pyrene's Crystal Thorns almost find the way through, and Mexicasual forced to burn the flip in the open net. Things looking really scary for them with the ball now on their half. The middle popping, Kirby in the bottom popping off and finds his way into the back of the net. That's another goal for the Runic Dreamers.
It's very interesting because I feel like we can keep getting into these double barrier, no barriers up anymore, and I feel like in this scenario now as a goalie should be favored over an Atlas. But I'm noticing that this on Mexicasual he has both the Mom Boots and the Glass Cannon, which I think is able to offset that difference that we might expect to see, and give him a good fighting chance in the open net against Chikara Eclipse.
Yeah, I think another thing that's important to note is that this Asher, who's really, really good at stuffing through barriers, and Kai, similarly with that barrage, excel opening the net, but I do think they struggle to actually get the ball through unless they're able to find a good play, through the corner along the bumper. Whereas Estelle and Rasmus have so many options on the open net for scoring that they kind of offset, that deficit that the Atlas might create compared to the Now in that matchup. Estelle has so many angles to score, Rasmus so many angles to score, that this forward matchup, I think, is what's tilting it in their favor.
Oh my gosh. There's so much happening at this point now. We're now on 0.5. That Atlas Res does come out to save Yin Kirby, but now we both on one barrier on both sides. Zonseki has the chance to get that second barrier, and they do. And Ragni, an amazing shot to win that strike war against Pyrene and get it right past Mexicasual as well, getting them their first set and tying up the sets here. What awakenings do you think that they should be looking for here on Chikara Eclipse's side?
I think this Asher should take the size from the Rasmus. Just don't have to deal with it anymore. Rasmus, I actually think it's not a terrible idea to deny the Monumentalist. Yep, they're going through with it. I think that really elevates the potency of the Now goalie. Timeless, great compensation for them though. And then this missile prop's definitely going over to the Atlas. 1-2 punch or heavy for this Estelle. Missile prop denied from the Atlas. It decides to opt into the 1-2 punch. And now if we get to overtime, that Atlas core speed is going to be a big deal for clearing the ball out of the net as we head into this third set.
Yeah, now that we're in this third set, we're back on this damaging variant, which I do think is favorable for the side of Runic Dreamers, especially because they have that Atlas. But also now going into this, they have a heavy impact Estelle and a 1-2 punch on this Atlas, and even a Monu on that for that hook on Rasmus, which I think elevates their damage to another level. And they don't even care about the damage; they're just willing to get the double barrier straight up. They don't need to kill them to win this point. But now the point is starting to calm down a little bit. Chikara Eclipse able to get a little bit of offense going themselves. Great defense from Scandals on that pendulum swing, but Pyrene with a great blink, able to get past both Cragley and Scandals there to get them that first point of this third set.
Yeah, I thought Yin Kirby was setting up an excellent checkmate there, but Cragley actually I think is the one that saved the ball from the back of the net, but Pyrene with the punish, and that's the lethality of this Estelle Rasmus on the open net. They can just space so far away from you that they cover all your clear options, and then they could shove the ball in your face and hit you from a mile away. It's exactly what happens there. Great play, once again, from Runic Dreamers. This team play on the open net looking really, really good for them.
Yeah, I have to agree. They're doing a lot of good passing plays, while I feel like on the side of Chikara Eclipse, they're relying on this Asher to stuff it through this Atlas, which is a little bit hard on this twin drive start. So I think it puts them at a little bit of an advantage here when it comes to setting up their offenses. Now into this on this bounce house point here, where there's a lot of variability here, almost giving Turby the ball off the core off that pass to give him that second barrier, but Cragly using that flip to prevent that. Zonseki also that recovery drone removed, and leaving him susceptible to losing that prize for a sec that he wants to keep and use to get kills against his team. Scandal's great flip there as well to defend against Runic Dreamers and keep their last barrier here.
Yeah, I mean, Pyruni's primaries at this point have been exceptional. Takes the KO on Zonseki, pressures the open barrier, staggers Cragly, and as long as Mex Casual is able to hold in this really scary situation, not quite able to, but regardless, Cragly is taken down. Great pass from Yin Kirby, and as long as Mex Casual can catch the ball, they're going to be safe. Pyruni almost gets it through. Great primary from Scandals to keep things safe. Now this flip, slowing things down. Great passing plays from Yin Kirby and Pyruni in the open net, and they find a way to step it through.
Amazing blink for Pyruni. They're able to cut that up there and get it in. Scandals was not ready for that. And now onto this next variant with the arrow over in the middle on Project Maelstrom. 2-0 for the side of Runic Dreamers. They really want to clean up this set now and get into this next drive because they are looking to scale. They are looking to get these awakenings that power them up and just clean up the set before the side of Chikara Eclipse can get like a bunch of speed and be able to outpace them in this matchup. But they get it out. They clear out this set, getting that 3-0 in this third set, and now they're moving into this third draft. This second draft.
It's Pyruni sweep. It's a Pyruni sweep. Pyruni is taking these barriers, is taking these goals, is absolutely everywhere. This Estelle is applying so much pressure. You ban the rune if you're the side of Chikara Eclipse and you get punished by this Estelle, rewarded with whatever they want. Decides to take the Spark of Agility. It's their second Spark. Wants the move speed to be able to keep up the Kai. The Reverberation for the Rasmus, more survivability for them. Among Titans for the Kai, more speed. Rapid Fire for this Atlas, and Spark of Focus for the Asher. It's a perfectly fine pickup for them. They've got more cooldowns, and we are entering a complete core control game. If it wasn't one already, we've opted out of power, we've opted out of damage, we've opted completely into speed and cooldowns to try and score as Cragly finds the first strike in this new set.
After looking at that third draft, I think this Atlas is going to be a big menace with that rapid fire and the twin drive, making it really hard for him to get scored on in comparison to the Now, who has twin drive in prime time, but not have nearly as defensive abilities in her own right. And now and we see that here in this first point of this fourth set with the two barriers already going down for the side of Chikara Eclipse, while Mex Casual is holding the line, keeping this last barrier alive for his side.
Yeah, I mean, Mexicasual is completely holding it down, and Yin Kirby, great hook out of the corner and finds it in the bottom corner. Runic Dreamers now 2 points away from Liftoff qualification. Look at this team go.
Yeah, I mean, that Atlas was really getting it done at that point. It just completely stuffs the side of Chikara Eclipse's offense when they are relying on this Asher to use her size to get it through this Atlas, but he is just not letting it happen with these constant cooldowns. It is just making it really hard for them to play the game.
Yeah, ball going all the way around the world here, but Pyruni has flipped soon. Zonseki going to be looking for a KO in the corner, but actually gets return KO'd themselves by Yin Kirby. Really well played by the Rasmus here, as risky clear from Mexicasual pays off. Burns the flip out of Zonseki. Barrier does eventually go down, but no worry. They've got Yin Kirby's flip in the corner. Sends it through onto the barrier, and it might go in the net.
Instead of a amazing flip from Cragly. I don't know if that was intentional, but the bouncers were on point, able to get the perfect blind stop. That Atlas was not able to get up there and catch that in time. Now it's 1-1 in this fourth set. This, I feel like the side of Runic Dreamers is still at an advantage from their awakenings, but we see Chikara Eclipse still fighting back very hard here, not giving up any points and taking advantage of these offensive opportunities when they have them.
Yeah, I completely agree. I do think the draft has gone so well, especially defensively. Oh, great strike from Yin Kirby. You know, especially defensively for the side is, a nice little pass to Mexicasual for this team. You know, the Awakenings are looking good for them, but, you know, nevertheless, this Asher, you know, the indomitable spirit of this character always has a fighting chance no matter what game they're in, as Scandal's forced to burn the flip. Pyruni trying to find a score in the open net, and Cragly rewarded with the orb. Mexicasual, good save. Forced to burn the flip. Great strike to get things out, and the size runs out for Cragly. Back to being a little among Titans gamer here. as they find a way to stuff onto the barrier, but Zonseki gets a little nervous, burns the flip, but finds the shot above Mexicasual, and not Era, Chikara Eclipse. I saw the E, I got baited. Chikara Eclipse are fighting back.
Yeah, they were just really able to keep that offensive pressure going that whole time. I think this among Titans is making a very big deal. I think the excess speed that this guy has over the Estelle is making him keep this core a lot more often than he was beforehand, and also giving that extra size, even if it is only 12.5 or 15% to this Asher, it is nonetheless going to help in these 1v1 scenarios against this Atlas.
Yeah, and Scandal's almost KO'd. Let's see if they can find it. Oh, as the Asher actually holds it down in the open net, but Scandals goes down. Cragley trying to make a hero play in the power play, not quite able to find it. Yin Kirby can't quite get the strike through, and this Asher has rotated to a goalie. You know, this is one of the biggest advantages of Asher Brawler, that once she's, you know, in the net, in a power play or whatever, she, you know, transforms into the same potency of goalie that she normally is. Cragley looking low. Not quite able to go down, though. Staying alive. Bounces off the middle, getting thrown around like a rag doll, but still alive as Cragley passes, and Pyruni pops the middle to intercept the pass and send the ball in the net. It's now 0.5, and it's qualification point for Runic Dreamers.
What an amazing usage of that Atlas middle there. And now we're on this last very, very chaotic variant of Clarion Core here, the damaging one, where if people start getting caught in this scoop and just taking damage, the point can go very easily in favor of the other. But it doesn't matter. Yin Kirby and Pyrene are keeping up this offense extremely well, using paths from each other, able to get it through Zonseki, Cragley, and Scandals, all three of them, getting that last barrier. They're trying to go for the goal here, trying to finish off this game before they can get into a set 5.
Yeah, and everyone getting a little nervous. The ball ends up in the bottom corner. Can the Asher stuff it through? Not quite able to, but Cragley wins the strike. We're on the barrier, pivotal, and now this Scandals with the flip and the open net is looking like the strongest character on the screen. It's going to take nice coordinated plays from the side of Runic Dreamers to get this through, or a KO onto Cragley, but healed up by the now, and this flip on Zonseki goes down, looking scary. They find the way around Cragley, and Pyruni's flip is coming up soon. Will he be able to capitalize off of it? Down to Yin Kirby. Gets the flip out. Mexicasual's not able to make it in time, and Scandal scores net to net. We're going to a set 5.
What an amazing shot from Scandals. They're able to just get it past that Atlas, and no one else is able to intercept it as well. And now we're moving into the set 5. And the Kai, looking at what we see here, we see the stacks on stacks, we see the chrono boost, we see the Castellas, we see the aerials, and the Stagger Swagger. 5 different ways of getting speed, and he opts for the stacks or stacks here. But we see this 2-3 on the side of Rasmus and Atlas, which can make it problematic for the side of Chikara Eclipse, because we got the Stagger Swagger on the Rasmus, giving him that speed, allowing him to keep up this offensive pressure more against this now. And then on the other side of things, Asher picking up this Might of the Colossus. She has 2 side swingings and the Among Titan size. She now has a whopping 195 power, making her a big threat.
Yeah, and she's got this this prize fighter. That power might go even higher. If she looks for these KOs, she is going to be able to find them. As Yin Kirby, great hook in the corner, trying to keep control of the ball. Probably just trying to stay calm. You know, this is a really high-pressure environment for these players. They haven't really been in this type of environment too much before, and I imagine that the set 5 super nerve-wracking for them, especially because Runic Dreamers, I believe they beat this team 3-0 earlier today, and so the game, you know, kind of going the other way, that can be a little stressful, especially when you have this massive of an Asher in your face trying to stuff the ball through.
Yeah, I have to say, I feel like I'm a lot more scared of Chikara Eclipse now. They have just like 2 massive stat sticks. This Kai, who is the speed of light flying across the screen, and this massive Asher. And then they both have a now backing them up, giving them that extra speed and healing that they need. It is a very daunting task to get to kill this team or get put through this team. This Asher is just able to convert on so many different things. Now Cragley is constantly getting up to them, and this Estelle just doesn't have that speed that they need to keep up with this Kai, making those interactions in the midfield really unfavorable for them.
Oh, Yin Kirby finds the Monumentalist hook, finally, and they have the flip. If Pyrone can get the ball for them, misses the strike, but Primary gets the ball through. Yep, gonna go down to Yin Kirby, who flips in the open, not quite able to convert, but is able to KO Scandals on the goal line. That's a point for Runic Dreamers.
What an amazing rebound off of that corner bumper, able to get the Pendulum Sleep, kill Scandals, and get the goal there. Now up 1-0 in this final set of this game. And the winner of this does go to Liftoff, so I imagine that there is going to be a lot of nerves flying around here, especially on something like a bounce house.
Yeah, I mean, Bouncy Castle, not exactly the map I would want to be playing in set 5, but, you know, got to play it every set, including that 5th one. Ian Kirby find the ball down into the corner, but not quite able to convert on that second barrier. Mex Casual, great defense, keeping the ball away from everyone, but this Zon, Seki, Asher is just so large, able to win every strike war. Oh, great hook, and they're able to convert on the second barrier. Things looking good for the Runic Dreamers. Mex Casual gets the ball up to Pyruni. Oh, the primary almost sends it in to the top side of the net. Pyruni really, really active in the midfield this point as Mex Casual not quite able to find it through. Can he get the flip? Lives with the evade, but not quite able to find his way out. Zon Seki with that size puts it into the net. It's 1-1 in this pivotal set 5.
This massive Asher is catching every attempt at clearing away. It is so unfortunate for the side of Runic Dreamers. Chikara Eclipse is just able to capitalize off of all these attempts, making it really hard for them to play the game. Now 1-1 in this set. Not over for either team. We'll have to play at least one more point after this. But Pyruni and Ian Kirby getting that offense up together. Oh, an amazing flip. Able to get that second barrel on this catch, and he's not able to catch it with his speed, and now it's 1-2. Match point for the side of Chikara Eclipse. What a turnaround.
Yeah, I mean, that was a great flip from Scandals and a great Giga from Cragley, who I've been highlighting all game for their exceptional play, but this variant has been looking good for the side of Runic Dreamers all game, as long as they can hold it down against the Asher here. But even if they do find that KO, she has the recovery drone. You have to decide, is it worth investing those resources on this point, or should we just try and go for the goal? She's now healing up, not quite able to find everything, but Cragley taking a lot of damage in the pool in the top corner. Ian Kirby walking in the bottom corner. Scandals, great strike around, and this Kai is speeding in at the speed of light. Mex Casual opens own barrier. Oh, it's Zon Seki once again getting low, but Scandals opts to go for the healing and loses their barrier in the process. Ian Kirby with the flip, looking to try and make this game a set 5.5 heater. Not willing to flip in the open net as Cragley with the speed runs in, gets the barrier. Maybe Ian Kirby's going to get punished for not being willing to flip, as finally flips but stuffed out by the Asher, and now Pyruni trying to score through the net here. Zonseki first to the ball. I'm losing my mind. I'm losing my mind. They finally kill the Asher.
Getting the kill onto Zonseki. Oh my god! The slowest score. Moving it, getting it on the bottom side. Scandal's not able to reach it, even with that flip. Now we're at set 5.5 here. The Asher lost her recovery, lost her prize fighter stacks, but Scandals does have that flip. We are in a very interesting scene.
Oh no!
And both barriers go down instantly on the side of Runic Dreamers, but they don't have. But they are able to get the core back.
Oh no! Okay, Pyruni flips, keeps his wits about him. Mexicasual, great strike war on the goal line. Scandals also flipped. Pyruni! Okay, they're keeping everything alive. The Atlas goes down to the Asher. She gets a prize fighter stack, and now they need to hold. Scandals loses control of the ball. Yin Kirby running up the side. Now Pyruni just needs to clear away from the Asher. They bought enough time for the Atlas to return. He is back, and the strike war win and the bounce off of the expanse. The set 5.5 win for Chikara Eclipse. Wow.
That is such a tragic end to that game, but a really well played one from Chikara Eclipse and Runic Dreamers. Both teams well played, and the best part is they didn't go out. They still have this fifth place tiebreak to go through. Runic Dreamers is not out, and they can still make it into Liftoff.
Yeah, I mean, it's gotta hurt losing a game 12 goals to 10. That's gotta hurt. 103 saves from Mexicasual, but things just didn't quite go their way in those last two sets. You're really going to kick it yourself if you're Runic Dreamers, but congratulations to the side of Chikara Eclipse, especially Cragley, who I thought had an exceptional game. Really, really earned their spot in Liftoff, and now we head to this 5th place tiebreaker between Runic Dreamers and Wee's Little Furrets. Two, you know, like miracle Cinderella stories from today. Only one can prevail to make it to Liftoff in a couple weeks.
Hey, but whichever one loses, it doesn't matter because there's still Launchpad 3 next week. They can still make it. And honestly, from the way that I've seen both these teams playing, I think both of them will be in Liftoff. I have been really impressed with both sides.
Yeah, and that match is next. So we will be right back.